what exactly the AWS is, and I'll be telling you about how does AWS works and what are the topics that we need to cover up in the AWS training. And this session is going to help you to understand the AWS from the cloud computing perspective. This way you can actually select your career in the AWS platform. Those who are from a non-technical background or those who are from a different technology also, they can basically understand the basic concepts of the AWS from this session. So welcome on board, and let's continue. Before we begin, let's take a trip down memory lane, and let's look into what exactly or what previous technologies that we were working on earlier. So in the year 2000, in the year 2003, 2008, 2010, and now there has been a lot of changes. And obviously earlier we were working on or we were focusing more on the on-prem or the data center technologies, where we used to have uh, the servers and the computing devices at our own premises. Even if I talk about from the enterprise perspective also, so a lot of companies, those who are from a non-technical background also, they used to have their entire technical infrastructure at their own premises. So sometime in the year 2000s, let's say a person wants to implement a solution, and or a company wants to implement a solution. uh, the first thing they require is the infrastructure. They require the servers. So here you can see this person is thinking about, I want a few servers for my new website. Let's say he has a plan. He want to set up a website or an application for his business. And what is the main thing that is required? The servers, where the website or an application can be hosted. The other person says, sure, it's not going to be cheap though. Obviously, if you go to the market and try to buy or procure a server from the market, it is going to cost a lot. Depends on the computing resources, depends on the capacity, definitely. So it's not going to be cheap though. And the person in the year 2000 bought some servers from the market, and then he is not happy. He says that was quite an expensive thing that I have purchased, and he has taken all the risk, and he hopes that this is going to be worth it. A few months later, good news, they love our website, but so the website has been deployed, the website has been created, and the website has been deployed on the physical servers that the person has procured from the market. But there is an issue. There is a lot of traffic that is coming on our website, and we need to think about scalability. We need to increase the server resources. We need to increase the capacity. So we require more servers, a whole lot more, even more than what we procured, and definitely that is going to come with a cost. So this person is thinking, oh, my wallet is going to be empty in that case, right? Now let's try to understand the scenario in the present day, in the year 2022. If the same situation happened now, all that needs to be done is we can go to the cloud environment and we can get the servers or the virtual servers running at no time. Here you can see, hey, I'm going to need more servers for my website. The representative says, or the AWS representative says, oh, that can be arranged immediately. Why not? So the person in the year 2000 who procured the servers earlier, who purchased the servers from the market, got the servers from the AWS, and the scalability is no issue. He got it at no time, and the good thing is that he has to pay the amount only for the duration the servers will be, or the virtual servers will be used. So that's the benefit of using the cloud platforms or the cloud computing platforms like AWS, Google Cloud, and many more. Now, let's try to understand what we are going to cover up in this agenda. We are going to understand what exactly this AWS is. How does it offers the servers or the resources? We are going to understand about a brief history of Amazon Web Services or AWS, what all type of services the AWS offers, and how does AWS makes our life more easier. So let's understand what exactly the AWS is. AWS is a secure cloud service platform, and it is named as Amazon Web Services. It has been owned by a company, a parent company called Amazon, which is a very popular name in the e-commerce platform. It offers the computing power, and along with that, a lot many other services related to different segments like computing, storage, databases, and all. And with the help of or with the offering of computing power, we can get the servers or the virtual machines from the AWS at any time. It offers us different type of database services and the storage services. So on the AWS, we can have lot many type of databases, primarily related to SQL databases, relational databases, or the NoSQL databases, which are basically a semi-structured kind of a databases like MongoDB and all. It gives us the storage capacity, and we can store lot many information we can store on the cloud, on specifically on the AWS. There is one service called Simple Storage Service S3 that works just like a Google Drive or a Dropbox, and here we can store our documents, our files, our video content, audio content, whatever we can think of, we can store it and retain it for a longer duration of time. And the good thing is that the storage is not a concern. It keeps on scaling, and it offers almost an unlimited kind of a storage. The content delivery is very popular these days. There are so many content delivery applications. The OTT platforms on which we watch our favorite videos, movies, we hear the audio, the songs, all these are related to the content delivery. And we can get that content stored on the cloud, on the AWS, with the help of the storage services, the database services, and we can get it delivered with the help of the content delivery services to various users across the globe. The benefit of using the content delivery of AWS is that it reduces the latency of the content delivery, and it provides the uniform latency across the globe for every user. So we can stream our favorite movies, audios, songs, anything with the same rate if we are moving out to a different locations as well. And the other main advantage of using the AWS platform is we have to pay for all these services as and when we use them. So we are going to pay as you go pricing. So let's say if I consume these services for 1 hour duration or couple of hours duration, I'll be paying to the AWS for that duration usage only. And apart from that, the AWS also offers us some offers subscription features where if we subscribe for the services for 1 year or 3 year duration, we get some discount rates on a per hour basis. So these are a couple of important functionalities that the AWS offers that makes it more popular in the cloud computing environment. The application AWS creates are basically reliable, scalable, flexible. Now, what does a reliable scalability and the flexibility means? When we talk about the AWS, in the backend, AWS uses a lot of infrastructure, the technological infrastructure, and they are up-to-date infrastructure, the topmost, or you can say the most updated servers they are using in their data centers. And the good thing is their data centers, their availability zones, their locations where the entire infrastructure is situated, that is spread across the globe in various different continents. All of these locations are interconnected using AWS private network, the internal private network. And that makes the AWS infrastructure more reliable. We can plan the redundancy, we can plan the high availability of our applications. In case if any failure happens, we can quickly switch to different location, and there we can run our servers and the applications. It gives us the scalability. So as and when we want to upgrade or we want to increase the capacity of the resources, as we saw in the server example at the beginning of the session, we can scale the resources as and when required. So we can scale up, we can scale down as well, depends on the requirement and the traffic as well. Flexibility. We can make the changes on the fly. So if we have the resources that are live, that are running, and still we want to upgrade them, we want to make changes in our applications, we can do them even when they are in a running state as well. Now let's look into a brief history of AWS. AWS was launched in the year 2002. They launched its first cloud product in the year 2006, and they hold the first customer event in the year 2012. In the year 2015, they earned around $4.6 billion revenue. In the year 2015 and 2016, they released a Snowball and Snowmobile kind of a service, and these services are primarily used to migrate large chunk of data from one point to another point. These are portable kind of services where you can, if you are having a petabyte or terabyte kind of a data, you can move them from one place to another. So physically, the data and the storage devices are moved from the company's premises to the AWS data centers, and they are stored there itself. It surpassed $10 billion revenue in the year 2016, and now it offers nearly 100 cloud services, even more than that, into various different business functionalities. So on the AWS, we have the services related to the cloud or compute based functionalities. We have services related to storages, databases, from the application perspective, from the automation perspective, from machine learning, IoT, whatnot. So lot many things we can get from the AWS from the technology point of view. What all services AWS offers? Some of the popular services AWS offer, or you must, if you have worked on the AWS, you must be knowing some of these services like S3, the Amazon Simple Storage Service. It is a very popular service offered by the AWS, and it acts as a storage service. This can be used by anyone, and it does not require that much technical skills to work on the S3 at an initial level as well. What is an S3? S3 is a service. It is an object storage service that can store and retrieve data from anywhere at any location. So for example, let's say if you have some content, some documents like PDF files or PowerPoints or audio or video content, and you want to store them on the cloud, you can always upload them on the S3. Just like as I mentioned, you guys use Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive to storing up the important content. Similarly, on the AWS, you can use Amazon S3 for storing up these files or the objects. Apart from that, the Amazon S3 is not only used for storing up the important documents or the files or the objects, but you can have lot many features that the S3 offers. It offers you the option of an automated versioning of your documents. You can have a cross-region replications of your documents, where you can plan a redundancy of your documents as well. You can even host a simple static website on the S3 as a simple storage service. And along with that, there are a lot many other features that makes it more flexible. AWS data transfer. AWS has number of data transfer services like Kinesis, it is a data streaming service. Import export, snowball, and direct connect. With these data connect or data transfer services, we can quickly and securely move large chunk of data from one point to another point. We can even do a live streaming of the data, and along with that we can send that or ingest that data into different data warehouses or the databases for the reporting and the analytic purpose. Amazon EC2. Amazon EC2 provides secure and resizable compute capacity. It is designed to make web scale cloud. So Amazon EC2 stands for Elastic Cloud Compute Service. It is again one of the most popular and the widely used service by the AWS. Through the Amazon EC2, we can create lot many virtual machines, virtual servers based on different computing capacities, and we can host our applications. Like we can build our websites, we can build mobile applications. A lot many applications can be hosted on the EC2. Even we can plan to customize the databases as well on the EC2. So it's a quite a popular one, highly used service on the AWS, and it works as an infrastructure as a service kind of a platform. Then we have another popular service often offered by the AWS, and that is called as an SNS, which is a simple notification service, and it enables to send the messages which can be delivered across a large number of subscribers, systems like services and mobile as well. So SNS is a service which is basically used to send out the notifications to various different sources, and I can basically send out the messages from the SNS via or through to the users over the email or through the SMS as well. Along with that, I can send the messages to the applications as well. So a lot many things we can do from the SNS perspective. Then we have the KMS, which is a key management system, and this is a service integrated into most other AWS services, and it helps us to create and control the encryption keys used to protect the accounts and the data. So with the availability of a KMS, we can encrypt the data, we can control the encryption, and also that makes the logins on the AWS, the data that we store on the AWS, much more secure. Then we have another service that is called as Amazon Lambda. This is again quite a popular service which works as a serverless architecture. So Amazon Lambda is a compute service that executes code only when needed and scale automatically. Just give me a minute, guys. Yeah, guys. So coming back to the service called AWS Lambda or the Amazon Lambda. Lambda is a serverless architecture. And now when I say the serverless, that means we don't have to create a server on the AWS or on the Lambda. Just that we need to focus on developing the code, deploying it on the Lambda, and then the Lambda executes the code for us. In the backend, definitely the servers are created by the AWS, but that is something which we do not have to manage. And that's the reason we call Lambda as a serverless architecture. So what is a Lambda? A Lambda is a compute service that executes code only when needed and scales automatically, since we do not have to plan the creation of the servers. Then we have a Route 53. The Route 53 is again a popular service. It's a DNS mapping service, and with the help of the Route 53 we can map our external domains, the DNS names, and point it to our websites or the applications. So the Route 53 is a DNS web service, and it is designed to give developers and businesses a reliable and cost-effective method to route users to the internet. Not many things we can do from the Route 53 perspective. There are different type of routing policies also that makes it more feasible. We can do a lot of customizations also. Now let's move to the next section, and that is how does AWS makes our life easier? Why we should be using the AWS platform? We know that it offers a lot of services, but what exactly the practical use case of it? How does AWS makes life easier? Here's the problem Unilever faced. Unilever is basically a company, and I believe all of you must be knowing about that. The Unilever wanted, or there was a need for faster time to market and a standardized environment as well. How does or what approach the Unilever followed? Here's how AWS makes the lives easier. AWS plus Unilever got increased speeds of rollout and the deployment of their applications. Along with that, they were also able to get the backups and the disaster recoveries. Guys, the disaster recovery is a concept where, let's say, if any kind of a natural disaster or anything happens where that particular location is not accessible, we plan a redundant location where at least we can get our applications or the current or the critical resources running. So we can very easily and efficiently plan the backups and the disaster recovery, and that is one of the key benefits of using the AWS Cloud Platform. Now let's look into another problem statement. Here's the problem Kellogg's faced. It was attempting to improve trade spend and to move from their usual infrastructure. How does that happen? AWS plus Kellogg's got greater availability, cost saving, and when I say the greater availability, that means the AWS was able to get the Kellogg's application available on all the different locations in the form of a high availability. And with the high availability, the Kellogg's was also able to save a lot of cost as they migrated uh, probably from the on-prem environment to the AWS. So there was a cost saving. There was an improvement in the architecture as well. So that was with respect to what we understand from the AWS and how we work on the AWS from the services perspective. So guys, let's take up some questions. If anyone is having any questions, you can let me know. Please paste your questions, guys.